we've got to look out for ourselves and talk to other women about their experiences and how they advocated for themselves at the table. That's one of the biggest challenges I feel that women, we are great negotiators in stores, with our children, with other types of scenarios in which we have to try to see a win-win outcome, but thinking of ourselves. And I feel women so often leave money on the table because of fear. And one of the things I have learned in this career is I'm not afraid of anything or anyone. We're all human. We all get up. We do all the things together that are very just humanistic. And I feel like it is my job to raise my hand and ask a question or understand why someone would position a certain way, and then use that knowledge to say, yes, and, right? This is why I deserve this. Yes, and this is why you need to take a closer look at the overall value. And I just think women just need to get rid of that fear and just be who they naturally are, these amazing, caring, dynamic, confident humans on this planet.
This is Conversations with Women in Sales, an award-winning podcast launched by Barbara Giamanco and now hosted by Lori Richardson. Listen to interviews with amazing women about their journeys in their sales careers, often discussing sales leadership tips, ideas, and strategies. We aim to inspire women to consider or continue a sales career, and for some women to grow into sales leadership. Men, we need your support and appreciate your allyship. Now here's our host, Lori Richardson.
I am so excited today because I am here with Jen Waltz, and Jen is founder and Chief Information Security Officer at Imaginative. Jen is also an advisory board member with Women in the Channel. She's an executive board member with Cloud Girls and so many other things. We're going to be talking about that today. So Jen, it's so good to have you on.
Oh my gosh, Lori, thank you so much for this opportunity to share more about myself and learn more about you and really inspire these amazing women that you bring together. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you.
Gee. And we got together in person at a Women in Sales event, a retreat that we should give a shout out to Alexine Moudwar.
That's right. Yes, it was. So a huge shout out to Alexine Mudawar and Shannon Plum for hosting the February Women in Sales retreat. It was absolutely amazing time with so many beautiful, brilliant, talented women. And it's just, if you've never been to one of those retreats, I encourage you, but definitely also follow Lori. Make sure you're seeing her as she travels the US.
Oh, and same for you as well. You are so involved in the channel, and I know about the channel. For people that don't know what the channel is, tell us a little more about the channel.
Sure. So the channel is the technology channel. So you think about all these brand names like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, HPE, Cisco, all of these technology partners, they have different motions. They either sell directly through their sales teams or they have partnerships. And those partnerships help extend the viability of those solutions and the efficacy because there are people who actually implement the solutions. And so that is the channel. The channel is all of those partners in this ecosystem together, working hard to make sure that the end user customer is safe, secure, and also can do great things for their internal customers and external customers.
Yeah, and I actually was in the channel when I first got into sales in my early 20s. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know where it was.
Really?
Yeah, but I sold name brand products. I sold technology from IBM, Compact Computer back then. And do you remember Compact?
I do. I used to have one.
Yeah, and Hewlett Packard, HPE now, and so many other technology products, Microsoft products. And that's how I started. So I have a lot of love and respect for that way of selling, and have met so many amazing women. And what's great about you is that you were recognized by Women of the Channel, right? You were the, let me get this right, Woman of the Year Role Model Award in 2024. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I have to tell you, I was blown away. I had no idea. It's such a prestigious global award, and I am so honored to have been placed in a category with so many women from such outstanding global companies. And I was so honored because I think one of the reasons why that I received that award and I was voted to receive that award is because my spirit of partnership. Everything that I had done to treat partners and customers the right way with dignity and respect, and even more so, try to find the win-win for everybody that was sitting at the table. And I'm so proud and honored that people could see that in me as a mentor, an executive leader, someone who not just walked the walk, but really encouraged and made time and space for anyone. And so I'm excited now that we're coming in. I've had the award now 8 months, and in December, they will crown or award this award to someone else, and I'm super excited to see who continues to trailblaze in that area.
That's awesome. The inherent issue with channel sales is, as I recall, when I worked directly for Dell, or I worked for IBM, or I worked for Microsoft or Salesforce or whoever it is, my manager, we only sell one brand. And so it's very easy for them to motivate me and inspire me to do that. When you're in the channel, often you have multiple brands that you work with, not always, but many times. And it's harder to help inspire people to keep their focus on your brand. Have you found that any tricks or, I don't know, ideas for people staying focused on a brand?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I think of is with partners, there has to be a reason for partnering. Either one solution makes the other better, or both solutions are better together. So that is the end goal, right? When you look at how the technologies combine together. And I feel that when you have a strong brand or you're working with a company that has a strong brand, it's really about those deep relationships you have within that company, right? Because you've got to have relationships at every level along the way so that they understand the value of the partnership too. And we have found that sometimes when people don't really understand or they lose the sense of value in the partnership, that's when things start to get a little clunky. And so I would say anyone selling someone else's brand as a reseller or a technology integrator or a systems integrator is know everything you can about that product. You don't have to be a technologist, but you really need to understand the why people buy. And once you understand that, and then you continue to learn about their products and technologies and what their future roadmap looks like, it's really hard to lose interest in that brand. And as with some of the bigger names, that might be easier to do, but when you look at new hitters like Wiz came out of nowhere and now is like the leading security giant. And so I would just say change is inevitable. It is real, but stay current on what you know in terms of your knowledge about that particular brand.
Yeah, that's interesting. You've worked for some big brands. You worked at Microsoft, you worked at Unisys. What are your memories about the difference between working for a very large organization and maybe those that are in startups? A lot of difference.
So my knowledge of larger companies is it's easier to get people to believe. Some people will say the sales cycle is easier, and I will tell you that is not true. I remember some 18 and 24-month engagements, and I'm selling Microsoft technology back in the day. So each company has its pluses and minuses. I feel in terms of being nimble, 100% startups. You go and you make a decision, it doesn't take a lot. Whereas when you're with a larger company, you have to think through all the implications of how it will affect. in a domino fashion all these other departments. And that's what slows the decision-making tree down. I would also say that one of the great things about working for a bigger company is being able to be on the leaderboard, right? Be recognized for your contributions and what you've done to help grow the bottom line of that company. That's a source of pride. You definitely it feels good. With a smaller company, yes, you get wins, but the recognition doesn't come as fast until you get to a momentum where people are understanding the brand actually and the technology works. So I would just say that in both companies, it's important to understand cross-functional relationships. It's important to make sure that you've got great harmony or synergization with people in product engineering, marketing, operations, because these are the people who are standing up the technology that you are selling to people. And so I just feel every company has its wins. They all have their areas that they need to improve. But what matters most is your attitude toward working with others and getting things done.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And it's been a male majority world for us in tech over the years. It still is. It different in some
Mhm.
way, but it's still very much so ingrained in this tech sector. It's interesting. I just saw someone post a panel. It's all men with a male moderator, and I was just like, they don't get it. They're not thinking. Yeah.
No, I think they get it. Just that's
Right. They get
the
it. They don't
times.
really care, maybe.
Right.
It doesn't matter. And that's what's sad. So I don't know what your thoughts. We could spend a long time talking about this, but there are great new companies like Partner Tap that's around
Yeah.
or that's really headed by women, and you're involved with them with Partner Tap and there are other great brands that see the power of women in sales and sales leadership. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a great question. It's very multi-layered. So I will say all of the promotions that I've had in my career have come through a white male that believed in me, that coached me, gave me air cover, definitely made room, understood my thoughts and where I was going and my thinking, and would encourage me to think out of the box more. Now, that's not to take anything from women. I'm just saying most men are in power or at higher levels, and so my promotions have come as a result of that. Now, when I think about powerful CEOs, women that are owning their own company, I think of Partner Tap, Cassandra Golston, and Autumn Grimm that are running things over there. And it's an amazing solution that they do in terms of bringing partners together to drive outcomes. And then also Impreza AI, which is partly run by Miri Rodriguez, and it's an AI firm. And Miri is at Microsoft. And I'm so proud of everything she's doing. She's a Latina, and it's just incredible to see. You've got women in sales with Alexine, who is really just bringing women together to actually improve their sales abilities, to close the cycles faster, and also hire great talent. And so when I see that, those women have gotten and promote other women, but I definitely know men have played a role in each of their lives to help them get through. I'm hoping that when men look at women, they see us as like their daughters, their sisters, their wives, because we're not in competition with them.
Right.
All we want is the ability to work alongside of them to do great things so that most of us, the women that are working, we're the breadwinner of the family, right? And so we just want to take care of our families like they take care of theirs.
Yeah, and I would add to be compensated as they are because I was
Right.
compensated in not just my first role, but even my last role. It's funny, it didn't hit me until later when I realized when my company did some downsizing, we were about to be acquired. This is my last corporate job. And I just accepted the package and I didn't question it or challenge it. And I should have because I was protected as I was a woman over 40. So
That's right.
a double thing. And I didn't. And I just thought that's so interesting because in my very first roles, I didn't know better. I didn't really know you could negotiate, but I did know by then. Yeah. Sometimes we just accept what we're offered. I've seen women who would say, I wanted more flexible time, so I didn't push on the raise, but they could have had both. So that's something to keep in mind. And to this day, I look over my shoulder when someone asks me to do something, write some content, and I'll say, "Are the guys? Is anybody getting paid?" It's so funny that it's like it's on my shoulder, and I can't get rid of that. And I'm happy to do it as long as it's equal. And if someone else is on a platform to be in its gated content or what have you, so
Yeah, I agree with that. We've got to look out for ourselves and talk to other women about their experiences and how they advocated for themselves at the table. That's one of the biggest challenges I feel that women, we are great negotiators in stores, with our children, with other types of scenarios in which we have to try to see a win-win outcome, but thinking of ourselves. And I feel women so often leave money on the table because of fear. And one of the things I have learned in this career is I'm not afraid of anything or anyone. We're all human. We all get up. We do all the things together that are very just humanistic. And I feel like it is my job to raise my hand and ask a question or understand why someone would position a certain way, and then use that knowledge to say, yes, and, right? This is why I deserve this. Yes, and this is why you need to take a closer look at the overall value. And I just think women just need to get rid of that fear and just be who they naturally are, these amazing, caring, dynamic, confident humans on this planet.
yeah, and women can amplify other women in the room.
That's
Yes,
right.
that's what Jen said earlier. That's a great. I'm
Mhm.
glad you like her idea. Maybe you two should work together. Because instead of just watching, we can participate. And I know when someone is a speaker, they're not going to bring me back the next year, but I can recommend you or someone else. And that's a way that men are really good at that. They're good at giving. I noticed that early on that men are really good at giving shout outs to other men from the stage,
That's
to their
right.
buddies, to the people that the guy with the new product out that they're involved in,
That's right.
the new author, the guy with the new book out, and it's like we need to do that too as women.
Absolutely. I think more women, you should post a woman that you're impressed with weekly or send her a text and tell her how great she is. I know I do that on a regular basis. I definitely like to come through and sprinkle some positive energy dust and tell women, hey, I just want you to know I know how hard you're working. I know that right now we're going into Q3. We're actually in Q3 and now we're trying to close our deals, get everything prime. We don't wanna have last minute deals come in December if we can't avoid that. Now's the time to really give a shout out to women and see what you can do to partner with a woman to help bring your deals over the line faster.
Yeah, yeah, that's a wonderful point.
Yeah.
What do you read or watch or to be inspired yourself?
Oh, wow. Okay. I read Val Wright, her books. She's an incredible executive coach, leader. I read Mel Robbins. Of course, who doesn't read or watch Mel, right? And I get a lot of inspiration from people who have gone through adversity and tough times. I look at points, I'm a historical person. I really love history. And so it doesn't matter if you're female or male, but I look at the journey. And so I was actually reading about Amelia Earhart again the other day. And I know when we were young,
Yeah.
we all admired her trying to being the first woman to cross the transatlantic in a plane and all that, and then her disappearance. But I realized, understand what that was like for her at that time. She was not supported, and she still did it her own way. Now, that's something to be proud of and respect, even though the outcomes weren't what she had envisioned. And can you imagine if she was fully supported in her goals, would she have made it? As opposed to being just looked at as a woman trying to do this one thing like it's novel. Just to go back in time and look at how she persevered Then I look at people like Aretha Franklin. I'll tell you that story. This is a woman, and she's a singer. And I don't know if anyone's seen her biography or anything like that. But this woman grew up in the church, had an amazing gift of a voice, went through terrible tragedy in her lifetime, abuse, neglect, abandonment, all these things. And still, at the end of the day, you don't think of Aretha Franklin and all the troubles that she went through. You think about her being this magnificent, powerful singer. One of the best memories I have of her is when she sang at President Obama's inauguration, when it was just magical. And so when I say that we don't always look like what we've gone through, but we need to keep pressing forward.
Yeah. I love that. I was thinking, I recently saw the Barbara Walters documentary, and another great example of the men did not want to work with her. They told her that I don't want to be your co-desk lead. I don't know what they call that, the desk reporting the news.
Yes, anchor desk.
Yeah, the anchor desk, you could see the glare in their eyes, like before the lights went on and the camera went on. And what was really great about, I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but I do encourage people to watch it, is at the end, there's something really special with all the women that were impacted by her. That's a little sneak peek if you haven't seen it, but those are the stories that keep us going, right?
Absolutely. I hadn't seen it, but now I remember she did a tell-all book a few years ago. And I remember reading that, but I definitely will be looking at the documentary because I love that stuff. It's very cool. And she did. She was a rising tide for all of these female anchors. I can remember when there was Jane Pauley and so many others from that time. Marlo Thomas, she was an anchor person or she was hosting a show. And then there was Carol Robin, who was the first Black anchor on ABC, and just so many others. She lifted so many women up in journalism and
And
really paid
left
people.
at Oprah and lots of
Oh,
others.
yes.
Yeah, it was really incredible. So
Yeah.
highly recommended. Jen, I'm so excited to chat with you today, and I look forward to what's ahead for you. And please keep us posted. And thank you for all you do to champion and support not just women, but just the career that you're in, supporting the channel and all the good work. Please keep it going. And thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, Lori, thank you so much. It is just such, like I said, it's a privilege and an honor to be here and just share some time with you. Just be in your orbit because you are such a brilliant, talented, kind, giving, amazing human who likes to just share your platform. And so thank you so much for this opportunity to just talk. I appreciate it. I hope
Thank
everyone
you.
learned something.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
I'm your announcer, Larry Long Jr., and we sincerely thank you for listening to this episode of Conversations with Women in Sales, encouraging you to share an episode with all of your friends and your favorite male allies. Let's work together to change the face of sales. Until next time, you can find all of our episodes at womensalespros.com/podcast.